homeless youth are really good at hiding. They don't want to be found. They want to do things on their own.
And welcome back, everyone, to our project community, New Hampshire's Homeless. This is really a heartbreaking segment for many people. Right now, we're going to focus in on young Granite Staters without a place to call home.
This past school year, the Department of Education reports more than 4,000 students were homeless at one point.
And there are many people in New Hampshire working right now to help our homeless kids. And we'll be talking with them about all of the possible solutions out there.
Also tonight, you can help one of the organizations focused on helping homeless youth. Waypoint is located in Manchester and has offices all across the state. WMUR's Amy Cavino shows us their outreach efforts.
The backpack has socks, hand warmers, snacks, water bottles, gestures of kindness, an offering that just might spark a conversation.
Hi, how you doing today?
Good, and you?
Good.
Monique and Xavier are part of the youth outreach team with Waypoint, the only organization in the state dedicated specifically to youth homelessness.
When we think about the scope of this problem in our community, it's really hard to understand how many young people are homeless. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that young people work really hard to remain invisible.
This is the Youth Drop-In Center on Lincoln Street in Manchester. A safety net that covers the basics for a young person 12 to 23 who is in a free fall, but not willing to give up their independence or become part of the system.
There's no shelters for youth under 18.
Ellie Hewat is a case manager. Her clients are 12 to 17 years old. And for some, this is as close to a home as they can get right now.
A lot of times we see that our young people who are sleeping outside, the first thing they want to do is come in and take a hot shower.
A hot lunch, a food pantry, a clothing closet, free laundry, access to lockers for valuables, internet access. The drop-in center strives to cover all the needs with one major exception, a fixed address with a bed to call their own.
Our goal here at the Youth Resource Center is to build relationships with them and help them to understand that they are cared about and that the life that they're living right now doesn't have to be their long-term life.
Boots on the ground outreach is a critical tool in spreading the word about the drop-in center and connecting with homeless youth. What did you offer there?
So those people were over the age of 23 and one of them was under, so we let her know what's going on. The people that were older, we still gave them some socks, some snacks, some hand warmers.
They wanted it.
Absolutely. They asked actually specifically, do you have any snacks on you? Yeah, we do.
Yep.
And a half a block later,
So you really got to kind of look high and low.
they approach gently, make some noise, and get no response. When this pair finally wakes up, they'll find a delivery made by some anonymous angels and maybe some hope that life will get better.
You may not need us right now, but you probably know somebody who does. And in 3 weeks, your life might change and you might be the person who does need us.
For Project Community, Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Doing such important work, and they sure could use your help. To make a donation to Waypoint, just head right over to the Project Community section of WMUR.com.
Okay, so now joining us in the studio, Melissa Hatfield from the Bureau of Housing Support. She's staying with us during this segment. Thanks for being here. She's joined by Courtney Porter, who is the school social worker for the Claremont School District.
Also here is Jocelyn Pinsino, and she's the homeless student liaison for Manchester Schools, as well as Erin Kelly, who is the director of youth programs at Waypoint. So Erin, let's start with you. We just saw some examples there of the work that Waypoint is doing. Obviously, so many people that you need to reach, but there's the fear that there could be so many more out there. So how do you even begin to accumulate knowledge of people you're not reaching?
Yeah, so national statistics tell us that 1 in 30 young people between the ages of 13 and 17 and 1 in 10 young people between the ages of 18 and 25 experience homelessness every year. So we know those that are connected to Waypoint are just a drop in the bucket of the issue in our state. And I think one of the things that we need to do in our state is really start to understand that this is a growing problem. I think I've been doing this work for about 10 years now, and even 5 years ago, I would talk about homeless youth and people would be surprised to hear that homeless youth existed in New Hampshire. And I think that just because we don't see them doesn't mean they don't exist. And so I think continuing to raise awareness and continuing to have other organizations like the education system and the Bureau of Housing Supports and the state and even local city governments getting involved in this work, because Waypoint cannot solve the issue of youth homelessness alone.
Erin, thank you.
Okay, Patty Freewater from Seacoast Family Promise. How are you? How's the work going on out there?
It's wonderful, thanks. How are you, Tom?
Very good, thank you.
Patty Freewater, Seacoast Family Promise. We run a program for families with children at the age of 18 and under. And of the statistics that we are showing is of the children under 18, 54% of those are children under the age of 13. And 47% of those are under the age of 5 years. And so when I look at the discussion about homelessness, about families, about homeless youth, I also have to reflect on all of the little ones that we have out there who are currently homeless and what will happen to them later on, and how will we help them become consumers and educated and people to work in our economy in this state and to have a vision and a hope for their future.
Courtney Porter, what do you think about that?
So
You're in Claremont.
I am in Claremont, yes. And so what's important for folks to recognize is that there is the McKinney-Vento law, which is actually a United States legislative law that allows for an immediate enrollment for students experiencing homeless. So this means if you are living doubled up with someone, if you are in shared housing, if you're living in your car, when you go to enroll your child in school, they're going to want your proof of residency, they're going to want immunizations, they're going to ask you for a lot of stuff. And for our families who are experiencing homelessness, they're not going to have those things. So the amazing thing about McKinney-Vento is that we say, forget about it. We want you to get your child enrolled in school, and then we will figure out the logistics later. So, and under this law, in every state and in every community, there are McKinney-Vento homeless liaisons within all schools. And so those McKinney-Vento homeless liaisons are working with the administrative assistants and principals, superintendents, to make sure that we are removing all of the barriers to accessing education. That's really is the first step to making sure that you can get in the door.
Right. Jocelyn, that's so important to you. I'm going to have you stand by real quick. Where's Linda Douglas?
Linda Douglas, yes.
So Linda Douglas, describe your capacity if you can, once we can get a microphone over to you. But suffice it to say, you are seeing children in the most dire of circumstances.
And some with domestic violence problems that they're dealing with, right?
Correct. And one of the things that I want us to remember, that when children are living in homes with domestic violence and go into shelter or continue to experience homelessness through a number of ways, they end up internalizing the stigma that is created in the community because they're not getting the services that they need. So they will grow up feeling that there's something wrong, that the trauma has made them feel that they do not deserve to have a home like everybody else has, that they don't deserve to have the education that everyone has, because they have internalized the stigma that comes from not getting the community support and not seeing the support from our legislators on being able to provide these services that children need. They carry it with them into adulthood.
That's heartbreaking.
Children, so young. Jocelyn, I'd like you to weigh in on that too, please. Sure. Of course, you're the homeless student liaison for Manchester Schools. So, I mean, you obviously hear these stories too, and you see the children affected.
Yes, and the important part to remember, as Courtney stated about the McKinney-Vento Act, is that once a student is in his or her school of origin, even if they are displaced anywhere in the city or the state, we do the best we can to keep them in their school of origin, if that's in their best interest. And really 95% of the time it is in their best interest to stay. And so we remove all barriers, such as transportation, or if they need some clothing or school supplies. So that's part of the work.
Maren Bissell is in our audience, and she was formerly homeless. Maren, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
When I was homeless, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to turn to, where I could sleep. And many times I heard that police officers were making people get out of their tents in the middle of the night and pack up everything and shoo them off. What are we doing in regards to that?
Well, it's a great question. What could have helped you at that time? What was the one thing that could have been of great benefit to you?
Knowing that I had a place to go to eat. Knowing that I had a place where I can talk to someone.
We have law enforcement representatives right in the back row. I'm wondering if anybody would like to talk directly to that.
Our Manchester men in blue and red, right
Thank
on
you.
the last row. Thank you so much for your story. And you do have a place now to call home.
Yes, I do.
Hey,
Wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Wonderful.
Along with my dog.
Very good. There we
Yeah, we can get the microphone right back
get
there.
the mic back to you real first.
Captain Brian O'Keefe, Manchester Police Department.
Yes,
I
sir,
run the
Captain.
Community
Thanks,
Policing
Captain.
Division.
Nice to be
Actually, what we do in community policing, if someone calls within our community and complains about a tent on private property, the community policing officers actually go and talk to the people that are taking up residency in that tent. They actually have a policy set in place where it takes up to 10 days. We don't just kick anybody out. We advise them of where they can go for services, whether it's mental health services, drinking, drugs, whatever it may be. We provide them with cards, give them services, and advise them that, it's someone's property, you can't live here any longer.
Do you feel as though it's working? And can you identify any tangible changes that you think you need to make?
That's a pretty vague question, Jennifer. Unfortunately, sometimes it's displacement.
Yeah.
So someone may complain they're over here, then they move over there. It ends up becoming a game of sorts. Mary, do you have something you'd like to chime in on?
So one of the things that we identified through this process recently in our conversations is that Fit New Horizons shelter was not open during the day. And so when we saw an increase in individuals in our downtown, what the city did was work with the shelter in order to fund them to be open during the day. And we also funded additional services there. So again, we did identify the issue that you brought to our attention, and we put a solution forward.
Fantastic. Okay, we're going to get back to you folks in just a minute. But we want to make sure that no child goes hungry, another problem homeless youth are facing. So tonight, next, what schools across the state are doing to make sure that students are eating 3 meals a day.
And right now in the Project Community section of our website, you'll find all sorts of ways where you can help out.